Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this first webinar. There will be two more webinars, one in April, on the 6th of April, and another one in June, on the 28th of June. And these three webinars are meant to explore and to show you what the MRes, the Master by Research in Sport, Health and Applied Science, can offer to you and can do for you, for your career, and so on and so forth. So let me just, do it in this way, which is much better. So what we are going to do in this first of the three webinars, so I'm going to show you in a way around, if you like, MRes, even if just virtually, and around the MRes, well, you know, just to show you what the MRes is, what you will be studying, how you will be studying, and so on and so forth. And I will also, at the end of this presentation, I will go over some of the sport facilities we have here. And in the other two webinars, the one in April and the one in June, we will explore a bit more other aspects of MRes and other aspects of the MRes as well. But let us start. So just to give you a bit of an idea of what MRes is and where we are. So let me just put this one here. So we are not far from central London. We are about 24 minutes, 30 minutes maximum from the heart of London, from central London. And London can be reached very easily. And it can be reached very easily both by bus and also by train. So we are in Twickenham, and more specifically, we are in Strawberry Hill. And the other important thing to keep in mind is that there is a railway station, Strawberry Hill Station, which connects Strawberry Hill to London Waterloo, which is one of the central railway stations here in London. So in terms of the campus, here there are two images, two maps of the two campuses that we have. One is the main campus, where we are, where, for example, I'm live streaming from, and as you can see, is a very green area. We are very fortunate to be in a very leafy area of London. We are very close to Bushy Park and also to Richmond Park, which Bushy Park and Richmond Park, they can be, both of them, reached by foot in just 10-15 minutes. Well, Bushy Park about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and Richmond Park probably in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And we have another campus, which is called Teddington Lock, which is primarily for, I mean, there is a quite large football and rugby pitch. And also here you have some lecture rooms, classrooms, and so on and so forth. And you can reach it quite easily by foot. Is about, I would say, about 10 minutes by foot as well. And this gives you a bit of an idea of our main campus. So this area here, you have a bit of an idea here. So this is Strawberry Hill House, which is a listed building, and it is a heritage of not just of London but also of England. And this is part of our campus. This is the main building of our campus. And this is an image of our gym. So which sports center, more than a gym, there are different activities that can be done in this sports center. And it's quite recent. It was open in 2011, so slightly more than 10 years ago. And it was fully refurbished, and it offers quite a lot of different facilities, different sports, and so on and so forth. And obviously, as students of the MRes, you will have access to all these facilities. And I think there are also some quite nice discounts. Another thing that now I want to show you is I want just to give you a tour, even if it is a virtual tour of St. Mary's. So this gives a bit of an idea of where things are. So we have our chapel here at the center of the campus. This is the track, which is you can see here part of it at least, which is the Sir Mo Farah athletic track. We have also the rugby pitch here, and then we have a TV studio, a design, we have the piazza, and so on and so forth. So if I click here, it will start showing you, hopefully, a bit the give you the tour, and I will walk you through it. So it's a bit slow. I apologize for that. Okay. Let's do that. So this gives you a bit of an idea of where things are. So we have our TV studio, the design suite, as I said, the chapel. There is also a commuter hub. For example, if you are commuting, this is our commuter hub, which is quite a nice place where people can either stay, or there are also some lockers here that you can use if you want to put your belongings there while going to classes, and so on and so forth. So this gives a bit of an idea of the commuter lounge. If I go back, I think I can go back, I believe. No, maybe it doesn't allow me. So this gives a bit of an idea of the commuter lounge. And again, just to give you an idea of other places that we have, this is the athletic track, which is the Sir Mo Farah once. And again, if you need to use it, you can book it and you can use it. So again, just to give you a bit of an idea of what what is available. These are some of our accommodations for students, which are here at the back. There are other accommodations, and so on and so forth. So let us go back to our lecture. Well, not a lecture, is a presentation. So in terms of the key facts, about St. Mary's, so we are quite a small university. We have 6,000 students between undergrad and postgrad students. One of the main, if you like, advantages of St. Mary's is really the size. Because we are a small university, then as you have seen also from the the image of the campus that I showed you, everything is quite compact. Everything is basically here, so people come to know each other very easily, which is very important for our students and also for the MRes students to come to know people who do different masters or do PhD and so on and so forth. Some of our master students work with PhD students who are working in a similar area. And then 98% of St. Mary's graduates, they are in employment or further studies, or they do vocational courses within 15 months of graduation, which is quite important for us to know that our students go on with their lives, and they go on and either they go and work, or they become practitioners, or they keep studying. We are #1 in London for course satisfaction and teaching satisfaction. So our students are quite happy with the student experience and learning experience that they have here at St. Mary's. They are usually very satisfied with the courses, both undergrad and master courses, and also PhDs. We really try to create I'm not saying not necessarily a family environment, but certainly that very strong sense of community where everybody, knows that there is help available if they need help, people to talk to. Basically, here is a managed. Both, students and staff, they are never left alone, if I may say so. We are the second safest university in London. We are, a very safe place, in particular because of our, the fact that we really have an ethos, which is a Catholic ethos, which means we really cherish others, we want to help others, we respect others, and so on and so forth. So for us, respect is extremely important. Generosity of spirit is also essential. So our students and staff feel very safe here. It's a safe place where people can really express themselves and flourish. And we are top 4 in the UK for our sports facilities, and also because 22 of our alumni are athletes, elite athletes, and Olympic athletes. And I will talk a bit more about that in just one moment. So let us come now to the MRes, which is really the whole point of this webinar. So why study the MRes, and why study the MRes here at St. Mary's? Well, first of all, the MRes, which is the Master by Research, the approach we have here at St. Mary's to the MRes is a high flexible approach, which means we use the high flex, the so-called high flex learning and teaching. This is very important that we have the high flex approach, the highly flexible approach, because it means the students, even if they are not here in London, and they have difficulties in commuting, for example, or they are overseas students, they can, take the MRes. They don't have to be on campus at all. Many of our rooms are high flex rooms, which means they give the opportunity to students to choose if they want to be with us, or if they want to basically follow from home or wherever they are. So if they want to live stream, if they want to follow via live streaming, or if they want to be on campus with us. So therefore, classes are a bit of a mix. Some students are with us in the classroom. Some other students, they follow through the live streaming. So that is the high flex approach, which is quite an important part of the MRes, because students feel very comfortable with us. They're very, very happy with this approach. In particular, this is quite important for students who have other commitments, students who are working, for example. The majority, I would say, of our MRes students are working. And so they find extremely useful. If they can't come on campus, this doesn't mean that they're losing out, because they follow via the live streaming, and they can still participate very actively to the class because of the high flex approach. And the other thing, they can really tailor their studies around their life and their work. as I said, the majority of our students work also, so they have working commitments. Some other students, they work and also have family commitments. So they find extremely useful this approach. The other important thing with the MRes, being a master by research rather than being a taught master, the main focus is on the development of skills in terms of being a researcher. Now, one thing that I want to mention here is that the MRes is not only for people who want to do research, who want, to become academics. Far from it. Many of our students are practitioners, but even if you are a practitioner, it's important that you understand what research is and what it means to have skills as a researcher. Because even if you are a practitioner, still you need to keep up with what is happening in your field of practice, which means you need to develop those skills which will allow you to have a lifelong learning approach to your practice. And then the main the core and the heart, if you like, of the MRes is the research project. So you will undertake an in-depth and extended research project, which will cover, basically you will start in semester 2 and you will go on into semester 3, which means you start at the beginning of the year, usually January or February, and then you continue through the summer to work on your project. The other important aspect of the MRes is that you will learn from a multidisciplinary team of experts in sport, health, and applied sciences. Now, because the MRes covers these 3 different areas, it means, you can obviously, and some of our students do that, you can focus on just one of these elements, either sport or health or applied sciences. Or otherwise, you can mix them in whichever way you like. For example, some of our students, they take applied sciences, for example, psychology, and they mix it, if you like, with sometimes sport, sometimes education. We have currently students which is doing a psychology-based project, so is applied science. But if you like, the emphasis is on education. So then these particular students in a way bridges education and psychology. So you can really follow whatever interest you have. So you don't have to do something which is in a way already set for you. Sorry, let me just do that. So who's for the MRes for? Well, as I was saying, it's suitable for, I would say, the majority of the students. Students, as I was saying, who are not necessarily local, so they don't live in London area, or some of our students, for example, find it difficult to commute. We also introduced the high flex because obviously of the COVID situation. We are slowly going back to normal. Our students are back on campus, but as you can well imagine, in the past 2 years, this wasn't possible. So we have to adapt. But this was a very good, exercise for us, because that's when we introduced the high flex, and we are going to keep it because we saw the advantage. And many students, as I was saying, they are scattered all over the UK, or they are even overseas. People, as I was saying earlier, who have work, other commitments, family commitments, and so on and so forth. But also students who come from different backgrounds. For example, people who have background in sport, in biomechanics, biomedical sciences, or even in some cases medicine, rehabilitation. It can be either physiotherapy or sport rehab, health sciences, public health, psychology, which includes also counseling. It can be then neuroscience as well. We had last year students who did a project on neuroscience, cognitive science, behavioral neuroscience, and so on and so forth. It can be also nutrition, it can be biology, it can be chemistry, it can be even physics. So we had students who did that. So it's really for every background, I would say, of knowledge, not just sport or health or applied sciences. So therefore the question is for how you will be taught. So in terms of how you will be taught, you will be taught in using lectures, using seminars, using workshops, and above all, regular meetings with your supervisory team. Because being, as I was saying, an MRes, so based on research, the research project is really the heart of the MRes. So in terms of taught modules, so there are 3 modules in total. Out of the 3, 2 are taught. They are both taught in semester 1. One is the skills for researchers, and one is advanced research methods. Both of them are 20 credits, which means 20 credits in terms of how much time you need to spend on it, on each of these modules. Bear in mind that 1 credit is usually about 10 hours of engagement, which means 20 credits is equivalent to 200 hours of independent studies, including lectures, seminars, workshops, and also the meetings you have with your supervisor. And the 200 hours also include the assignment preparation. Now, it's not that you have to do everything in 200 hours, far from it. It's a minimum. Obviously, if you put more hours, is absolutely fine. We don't complain about that. On the contrary. These 2 modules are quite different from one another. So let me just show you. For example, I have it open here. This is the skills for researcher. This is Moodle. You will access all the material via Moodle, which is our virtual learning platform. And just to show you what it looks like, so you have all the resources, which means textbooks and journals. Here you are told what kind of assessment you will have. I want just to clarify, there are no exams. There are only coursework for both modules. And then you have here the different material that each is covered every week. Students come on campus, or that is, they have lectures once a week, usually on Tuesdays. And they have 1 module in the morning and 1 module in the afternoon. And the rest of the week, either they come because they work on their projects, or sometimes they just don't come because they have working or family commitments. But they know, therefore, the lectures, the workshops, the contact hours, if you like, they are just 1 day, which is usually the Tuesday. We also have a very successful journal club. So as part of this module, for example, we ask the students to, each student, not every week, but we do it, I think, a few times, 4 or 5 times. We ask the students to share a journal, an article that they are interested in, etc. So it gives the students an opportunity to share their interest with the others, and usually very nice discussions come from this exercise. And students are quite happy with the journal club because they can share what they're passionate about, which is very important to them. And then we also for example, shows them how to write review papers, or how to review a manuscript, just to give them the sense of what being a researcher is all about. And then, as I was saying, for example, if I click on this one, here you have all the material, and all the lectures are also they are live streamed but also recorded, and so the students can watch the recording as many times as they like, or if they can't attend, they can always watch the recording. So and then as I said, the modules are all of them delivered in high flex mode, and as I showed you, they are supported by the online materials, which is available on Moodle. And also sometimes we have discussion forums where students can, for example, post a question and their peers can answer the particular question, which is, again, the students like to engage with this exercise and to help each other. Is quite important for the students, and we see the benefit of this type of approach. The other module that I was talking about is a supervised research project. It is another module which starts in semester 2. Just to be clear, semester 1 starts from September, or well, in our case, I would say October. So for example, this year we started, the MRes started on 4th of October, 2021, and usually semester 1 finishes in December. Then semester 2 starts at either end of January or beginning of February. This year we started at the beginning of February, and semester 2 will finish in May. And then in June, semester 3 starts and it ends in August. So therefore, you will start working on your project at the end of January, beginning of February, and you will finish maybe July, August, and you have to submit your dissertation by September, usually mid-September. And as part of this module, there is also a viva, which means you have to prepare an oral presentation and present your project to an audience, basically. And also this is marked. Now, you can either develop your own research project, that's what the majority of the students do, and you have to submit a proposal as part of one of the modules in semester 1. You can also choose one of the research projects which are offered by the faculty, by faculty members. And there are a lot of very interesting projects on offer in very different areas. For example, we have projects on offer in, as I was saying, cognitive science, or skill acquisition, or female health and well-being, also gender and sexuality. That is, some projects are on this particular topic, or injury and sport rehabilitation, lifestyle management. This is another topic, prevention of chronic diseases and also management of chronic diseases, biomechanics, and also musculoskeletal biomechanics. Again, it can be another topic for the project, sport psychology, professional practice, nutrigenetics and nutrigenomics. Again, there are projects on that, or sport and exercise physiology. So as you can see, the range of topics you can explore is quite impressive and substantial. We also have specific research centers. We have 3 research centers. I will talk about them in just an instant here in the faculty. And each center has kind of themes, which are called research themes. And you can do your project as part of one of these research centers if you so wish, obviously. Now, I put here some examples of past research projects. For example, one research project in past years was, for example, the effects of low load blood flow restriction training compared to heavy load resistance training on muscular adaptation. This was a systematic review. Another project was comparing GPS units and their ability to measure team sport metrics and predictors of agility performance in academic footballers. This was a more experimental, if you like, type of project. And I also put here two projects which, the outcomes of these two projects were then published. And I put here the links to the two publications if you are interested in reading them. So these are just two examples, but some of our students publish their dissertation. So as you can see, the level and the quality of the projects is so high that the outcomes are, publishable, which is extremely important. As you can see, this happened very recently. This is last year and this is the year before. So in terms of learning materials, so we have already covered Moodle. So this is the landing page of Moodle, and then if you click here on my course, you will see your courses as I showed you for the skills for researchers module. The library, also we have two libraries, one here on campus, and we have another library which is outside campus, but the one you will be using primarily is the one on campus. The one outside campus, the Naylor library, is changing a bit. It was primarily for education. I think they're changing it slightly, but the library that you will probably be using most of the time is here, the one on campus. And I put here a link. Our library has a quite nice website, and there are some of our rooms are 24/7 access, which means by using your student card, you can access these spaces. This is, for example, on the ground floor of the library, and it is a 24/7 access space. You have access to computers, or you can use your own laptop. But if you needed to, sometimes to study, I'm not saying overnight, by all means, I hope this will not happen. But if you needed to access, early morning or late in the evening, you can do that. And then there are some free softwares that you can use. You can loan a laptop. If something happens to your laptop, it crashes or whatever, you can always get a laptop on loan. And you can also book study spaces. So we have quite a few of study spaces. Either you can study individually in one of the study spaces, or as a group. So as you can see, there are quite a lot of important information here, and a lot of facilities that you obviously can use, and you are encouraged to use. So what are the skills you will be acquiring as part of the MRes? There are quite a lot of skills. As I was saying at the very beginning, these are not just skills that you learn just because you want to become a researcher. Far from it. Some of our, not some, the majority, I would say, of our students, they are practitioners. Some of them, obviously, they go on and do PhD. We have a number of students who, they continue and they do a PhD either here as a MRes or externally. And we have quite a number of them. Or if you're working, you can then apply the skills that you learn here, as part of the MRes. You can apply them to, your own work, to your own job. And that is what, many of our students do. As I was saying, many of our students work. Many of them, for example, they follow from their working place, they follow, the live streaming of the lectures from their working places. And then, many of them, then they tell us that they use what, they learn on the program, on the MRes, they use it, in their daily work, even during the MRes. And in particular, because they started developing, our students, a very strong understanding and a very solid knowledge in whatever area, they wanted to focus on. You then obviously learn how to collect data, how to analyze the data from a statistical point of view. We make the point to cover both quantitative methods, but also qualitative methods. Some of our students do qualitative research, so they find it very useful. And then also how you can design a research project, which, as I was saying, research is not that you do just because you are an academic and you work in academia, which means in a university, or you work as a researcher in industry. Not at all. As I was saying earlier, research feeds in anything you do. If you are a practitioner, you have to keep up with what is happening in your line of work, which means even if you read for example a paper which has been published and maybe on new techniques used in physiotherapy, for example, well, that is research, because you are researching and you are trying to learn new things in order to inform your own practice. Then the other thing that I want to share with you is what we do here as MRes, and what you will be exposed to while studying with us. So, our efforts are really to contribute to communities, not just locally, not just to local communities, but also to contribute to communities in general. So many of our, faculty members and students as well, master students, many times undergrad students, PhD students, they really work on projects which then have either an impact, quite strong impact on communities, for example, the well-being of people, in particular, for example, students who do physiotherapy or rehabilitation. For example, we have a clinic here, which is run by students, a clinic which is open to the public, so you don't have to be a staff member or the students as MRes. Everybody can walk in, and the clinic is run by students. Obviously, they are supervised by staff members, that is obvious, but they offer many different types of physiotherapy or rehabilitation or any other type of help to people. We have also students who then practice counseling, for example, or they practice what they learn in nutrition, or they practice what they learn in physiotherapy or rehabilitation, and so on and so forth. So really, our effort is to contribute to and to advance knowledge about how we can improve sport physiology or sport psychology, coaching. We have a very strong, for example, physical education department and unit here. Sport performance, skill acquisition, nutrition, sport nutrition, you name it. I mean, we really want to make people's lives better, and we really care for people and their well-being, and we want really to enhance people's quality of life. Some of our colleagues and also our students, for example, one of our current MRes students is working on that, which means is working on the application of sport psychology to people who have lost a limb, or they have a prosthetic, or they are they have some kind of disabilities. So one of our students is working on that, which obviously this type of project have, will have a very strong impact on people with either disabilities, which are, for example, Paralympic athletes, or people who are wearing a prosthetic, and so on and so forth. And as I was saying, we have research centers. We have 3 of them. So the first one is the Center for Applied Performance Science, and this center has, kind of strands of themes. One is performance and practice, another one is injury and rehabilitation. We also have one theme is on recovery, and another theme is on occupational health and performance. We also have a Center for Applied Social and Health Sciences. So this particular center is focusing on contemporary issues within the field of applied social and health sciences, and encompasses really research that spans many diverse topics which are relevant to health, to well-being, social and developmental sciences. We have a 4th center called SWIFT, which is a Sport Wellbeing, Inclusion and Faith Center. And the director of the center very kindly has agreed to talk about it. Oh, sorry, I have to sign in. All right, let me do that. Sorry, let me just give me 1 second. I thought it would work. Sorry about that. Give me just 1 little second. Okay, just give me 1 little second. I will just stop the sharing for 1 second, just easier for me. And let's do that. Sorry about that. He didn't ask me for that earlier, but I think it's quite a very nice. Oops, sorry about that. He's just asking me to. Sorry about that. To approve my sign-in. We have a lot of security, digitally speaking. Now we should be happy, I think. Yes. Okay, let me just share my screen again. Sorry, sorry, it's not working. Okay, so let me try in another way because it worked earlier. So let me try in another way. Sorry about that. Because it's a very nice video that I really wish to share with you. So let's do it in this way. It should work in this way. Let me just share again my screen with you. I do apologize for this little hiccup. Oh, sorry. Technical hiccup.
Abby Brady, I'm the director of the SWIFT Research Centre here at St Mary's University, Twickenham, London. And the purpose of this short presentation is just to introduce the SWIFT Research Centre and give you some idea, particularly for those who are interested in taking research, be that at the M level or the 7th master's level or the doctorate level. If you have any questions, you can either email myself or at the end I'll give you the details of Elisabetta Canetta you can contact. So what is the SWIFT Research Centre? So set up at St Mary's in 2019, very much emerged out of a partnership with a former organisation called the John Safe Foundation for Sport. And the SWIFT Research Centre mission is to support the development of knowledge and good practice in the areas of sport, well-being, inclusion and faith, through conducting and disseminating meaningful research and being of service to our community. Now I'd like to just share with you some of the areas of SWIFT, and that's an acronym for Sport, Wellbeing, Inclusion and Faith, on the next slide. So on this slide you can see 4 areas that identify a number of topics. So sport, wellbeing, inclusion, faith, and under these are a number of topics, key topics, certainly not in any way intended to be exclusionary, rather just indicative topics of some of the things we may study under those headings. And the centre of this, you can see what we consider to be our focus, and the very core of this centre. We're really interested in all people that take part in sport, physical activity, particularly interested in ideas, for example, like character, virtues, and hearing the voice of participants. When we say participants, we don't just mean the athletic participants, but all of those people that take part in sport, be that coaches, other staff, parents in the case of or teachers in the case of youth sports or PE. So really, we're very interested in hearing from many people. You may wish to pause this presentation and just look at some of the different areas that we cover here. There's way too many for me to just go over right now. But this may be a point to just start to consider, well, why have we become interested in the focus of SWIFT? Why these areas? You may well have your own very strong opinions or ideas about these areas, some or all of them. Some of the things that we really say we're very interested in is about addressing some of the myths and assumptions about sport, physical education, physical activity. An example of that would be the assumption that positive outcomes are associated or in some way guaranteed through participation in sport. That sport may be a social panacea, so in some ways resolving the ills of society simply by having involvement in sport. Now, of course, sport can bring many positive outcomes, and sport can contribute to many benefits in society, but these things aren't guaranteed. In some circumstances, they may bring incredible benefits, but in other circumstances, they actually may bring other problems or challenges. And so we're very interested in providing rigorous evidence base when we understand the conditions in which sport, physical education, physical activity really make a positive contribution, be that to individuals, groups, communities, or society at large. And those conditions or characteristics under which sport, physical education, physical activity may in fact impair or in some way challenge or diminish the kind of benefits we would like to see. In order to undertake our research and to focus our activities, we've identified 4 themes. I'm going to share these on the next slide. And on this slide, we can see the themes that represent the areas that SWIFT focuses on at the present time. These themes are positive youth development in sport and physical education, social justice in sport and education, professional development and practice in sport and physical education, and faith and spirituality in sport and physical activity. Under each of these headings, you can see just some examples of some broad areas, usually in most cases just a couple of examples of the sorts of topics that may be encompassed within that area. What's very important is that we're trying to create a rigorous evidence base, and that means taking a critical position, being aware of both when sports or physical activity or physical education may be embracing really positive attributes, creating a number of benefits, but also being really aware and very open to appreciating that that may not always be the case. So in some instances, we might find, for example, we might challenge the beliefs that talent is an innate quality and that some people are just merely gifted versus the idea that talent, or certainly proficiency and expertise, is developed. We may further consider ideas around the role of teachers and coaches and parents, siblings and peers in the development of talent and expertise. We may look at the role of adversity in the pursuit of excellence. So there are many ways that we could look at any and many issues associated with these four themes. So there's lots of work to do, and we need enthusiastic, open to learning researchers who wish to join us in attempting to develop this knowledge through a range of different methodologies. So if you're interested in undertaking impactful research and or projects that are of service to our community, and through the completion of that research can make a valuable contribution to the advanced knowledge, then we'd be very interested to hear from you. And so for more information, please contact either myself, my details at the beginning, or Elisabetta Canetta at MRes.ac.uk.
Okay, so sorry, let me just stop the sharing for a minute. It's just easier to come out. Okay, so as you have seen, has Abby, the director of the center, has very clearly showed you. So Swift is a center for people who really want to work at the interface. So the other thing that I want just to talk about in this webinar, as I was saying at the beginning, in the other two seminars, the one on 6th of April and the last one, which will be on the 28th, the 20 of June, we will be exploring other aspects of St. Mary's and, also of the MRes, obviously. So we thought to divide, there is basically so much to say about the MRes and, the opportunities for students who are, studying with us on the MRes, that we thought to kind of create a series of webinars. The other thing that I want just to say, all the webinars will be, they are recorded and they will be made available on the website of the MRes, but I will say a bit more about that at the end. So what I want just to share with you, just, a few slides on, the sport facilities which we have here at St. Mary's. So as I was saying at the beginning, St. Mary's has quite a very long and successful story and, history, modern story in sport. So 22 of our alumni are Olympic athletes, and they competed at the Rio 2016 Olympic and the Paralympic Games. And they won 6 medals. Some of them, they were selected to represent the UK at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, and they won 3 medals. We were also, St. Mary's was the base for the Rugby World Cup in 2015. We were also based and we were at the training center for the London 2012 Olympics and also for the 2017 World Championship. And obviously, as you can well imagine, one of the probably best known and most famous alumni of St. Mary's is Sir Mo Farah. And let us see if it works. Hopefully it will work. I think it should, at least. A very brief video on, let us see if it works. So as you can see, oh, sorry again, let me just come out of here if I can. Pardon me, sorry, let me just stop again the sharing. It's just easier to come out of these things. So as you can see, many of of our students, they have won medals in particularly in Rio. So just to give you a bit of a sense of the successes of St. Mary's in terms of sport, and also again for the students, our MRes students who decide to focus our attention on sport, they can still. Our students can have access to such elite athletes because these elite athletes have still a link with St. Mary's, and some of them are still coming, not necessarily on a regular basis, but they still come to St. Mary's. So there is, and I know that some of our students work with these elite athletes also as part of their projects, which is quite exciting for them and also for us. Another thing I want to mention that our students, MRes students, use one of the facilities. As I said, the MRes students who decide to focus more on sport is our endurance and performance center called the PEC. And again, this is a center which is a very important center. It has a lot of facilities, in particular for strength and conditioning. And again, just a very, I thought to share with you this very short video. Oops, sorry, is just giving me a bit of problems at the moment. I don't think I can share it with you. But it is available on our website, St. Mary's website, which gives you a bit of an idea of the PEC, which is a very if you like, sophisticated and well-equipped center for sport. We also have the Women's High Performance Football Center, which is linked to the London Irish RFC. And again, there are a lot of sport and health services like body composition, environmental training, metabolic assessment, and physiological profiles. And again, our students, MRes students, have access to all that, to these facilities, if, as I was saying earlier, they decide to use them, or if they think these facilities can be of use, to carry out their research project. And just, to finish, just the contacts here. So this is me, I'm Elisabetta. And if you need to contact me, by all means, drop me an email. You can also contact our Associate Dean for Research, Dr. Jamie North. And this is the link to the website of the MRes. Which this is the website of the MRes. So you have a bit more information about the MRes. We have kind of covered some of it in this webinar. You have here quite nice links to the different to what our staff members in the faculty do in terms of research. Gives you really a sense of the extent of knowledge in sport, health, and applied science we have here at St. Mary's. And again, these are the kind of different topics you can explore as part of your studies and your projects. So if you want to know more, by all means, explore here. And these are the other two, as I would say, webinars. One on the 6th of April at 5 p.m. and the second one on the 28th of June at 1 p.m. And again, they will be recorded as well and uploaded on the website. And so this is me. As you can see, if you need to contact me, by all means, do so. These are the entry requirements if you want to explore more. If you want to know more about the course content, by all means, it gives a bit of an idea of what each module is all about. And as I said, whatever you need, just let us know, just contact us. It's always a pleasure to hear from our students, even prospective students, and we will try to answer all your questions. It has been a pleasure to share this past hour with you. I hope you have found the presentation interesting, and I hope to see you, to see you soon. We have also some open evenings coming up. I think one is at the end of March, and the other one is sometime in May. So if you want to come on campus and meet all of us in person, by all means, do come. You can attend these open evenings. They usually start at, I think, 5 p.m. and it will be just a delight to meet you and to talk to you. But thank you for listening, and hopefully I will see you soon. You take care of yourself. Thank you and bye.